back, everybody. Next, number 2 of our recap of the healthy conversations that we do every month. Kind of just open things up. We want to talk to you guys about any questions you have about programming or nutrition or just whatever kind of comes up throughout the week, and we kind of open it up for discussion. So
a recap of our live meeting that we had on Saturday. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think the first thing that came up was we have a lot of new members coming in, and so we may do things a little bit different than other CrossFit gyms. And so there was a question about our approach to strength training and cycles, and I think some people have already noticed that we don't do a lot of strength, technically focus on strength. So what were your comments and thoughts on that?
So the question was, why, and they noticed this right away, that it was different. Why don't you guys do a strength and then a Metcon? Or aren't we going to lose our strength if we don't do it that way?
Well, because that's how CrossFit used to do it, right? Or it used to recommend, or we used to do it, or something.
We used to.
Okay.
In fact, everyone hopped on this train, and I think, so I'll kind of get into why it went there. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it was, CrossFit was just how we do it now, right? How the originally was. It was Metcon only or strength only. And the reason and method behind that was whatever it was that you had for that day, you want to hit that with as much intensity as you can. Mm-hmm. And if you do a strength and then a Metcon, you're either gonna focus on just the strength and then kind of just get through the Metcon, or vice versa, just kind of dabble with the strength stuff, get it done, and then really hit the Metcon.
Because you knew you had the Metcon coming up.
Because you knew you had the Metcon coming up.
You kind of hold back on one or the other. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what really happened was you didn't get the most out of either.
Yeah.
You just you did a lot of stuff in an hour. And that's the other main reason, is we only got an hour with you guys. So we spend a lot more of our class coaching, warming you guys up properly, making sure you're moving well. And then we hit whatever it is hard. That's all you got for that day. So you better go hard.
Yeah. So initially we did do that strength and then Metcon for a little bit. Yep. And then we transitioned over. I remember when we had that transition, a lot of people were asking questions. But I mean now, and we brought this up in the monthly meeting, our athletes are very well-rounded, right? Yeah. And they're still strong.
We're still strong.
And we still PR on strength days, even though we don't really focus much on those strength movements that much. I mean,
Absolutely.
A lot of people PR.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. And I think the main reason we switched is because the realization of we're not trying to get the members to do the workout RX. That's not our main goal. We're trying to make them healthier.
Yeah, so that's a good topic that came up too, is what are we trying to do here?
What are we trying to do? We want to be better, we want to move well, we want to feel good, and we just want to, we want to feel better. That's the main goal. Yeah. And I think sometimes that gets lost in the whole, confusion of strength cycles and doing all this stuff. And when really what we want is to just be as fit as possible and feel good.
Yeah. And then, of course, everybody's looking for the aesthetics, the way you look and all that. And that comes from being capable, right? Wouldn't you
Absolutely.
say? Normally a fit, healthy looking person, that's usually an indication, or should be from a very primal perspective, should be an indication of capacity, being capable.
The more stuff you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a big takeaway that we talked about at the meeting too is everything, say there's a skill that you can't do, if you are going to do anything extra, that needs to be what it's focusing on. Yeah. Most people are strong enough. Yeah. Most people cannot do a handstand walk. So you should probably be, if you're going to do anything extra, not worrying about your back squat, worrying about, hey, let's get upside down a little bit more and develop that. Yeah. Because what's amazing about that is the more stuff you can do, there's a carryover to other movements.
And we see it.
And we see it in myself and in others, right? Once they get better at certain things, their lifts go up in certain areas.
Yep. Yep. And I'm just thinking back, we used to do the Catalyst Athletic squat cycles, lifting cycles, brutal workouts in addition to the thing we were doing in here, and really didn't get that much improvement for how much work we were putting into it. And now you and I both, and most of the coaches and a lot of people now are just committed to this 1 hour of power and blowing it out. And we see all the benefits that we're looking for from a workout program like this.
Yeah, absolutely. The hour of power is important too. I think the intention with the warm-up, through all the stretches that we do, through the movement prep, these are all making you better. So don't just think that the class is just the Metcon. And I think that's where people might also lose the side of what we're actually doing. The class is not to just get the best time on the Metcon, it's to get better. The whole class is important.
Yep. Yeah, I like that because you helped me realize that, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, where it's like the warm-up, like take every bit of it serious, perfect your movements in the warm-up, even if it's like a hollow body hold or something, like
focus on that. Don't just get through it.
Yep.
Cool.
Is there anything else around that we talked about in there? Strength, we've done that before. I thought what was really interesting was that we when we made that transition, for the members that are still here for that, when we made the transition from strength and Metcon in one workout to just focusing on one workout for the day, we had some questions, but now nobody ever says anything about us not saying they wish we would squat more or wish we would deadlift more or any of that kind of stuff, because we see the results that this programming has given us.
Absolutely, we see the results and we live the results. So I'm not doing anything extra. So it's, I don't know.
And you do what you program.
I do,
and that's
exactly
it. You're not in
what
here
I'm
doing
programming.
some separate little strength cycle or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. All right, I think that covers all that. What else do we have?
This was a question for you. It revolved around supplements. So what do you guys do before workouts, after workouts? What do you recommend?
Like pre-workout, post-workout, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'd say there's two categories there. So we're talking about supplements, and then we're talking about nutrition.
Yes.
So when we go into a workout, our goal, those of us that have been through our food protocols, the SHT stuff, we want to go into a workout fasted. And the reason for that is there's a couple. Number one, physiologically, if I have something in my upper GI that my body has to digest and I try to do a workout at the same time, I'm asking my body to do two different things at one time. And it tends to not be optimal at either one. Okay, it's holding back on something. And then also, if I have something in my upper GI, then my body can get some energy from those nutrients or those calories in the upper GI, and so then it doesn't have to prioritize how it creates energy on its own. And what we want when we get into some of these workouts is we want the body to understand when to tap into fat stores, which is usually when you're a little bit more calmer and taking a break or breathing deeply or something like that. And then we also want the body to understand when to tap into glycogen stores for its emergency energy. Maybe it's even using some stress hormones or something like that, but we want it to do things on its own and understand how to differentiate and when to differentiate, tapping into fat stores, tapping into glycogen, using emergency stress response systems. And if I have like a pre-workout, a little bit of sugar, some juice, or an apple, or a banana or something like that, then my body does not have to prioritize because it is getting energy from that bit of food that's in the upper GI.
It'll burn what's easiest.
That's right. So we want it to be metabolically flexible. That's what we're looking for. And in the beginning, if you're not used to this, number one, you got to learn how to eat real food, which is what you're going to learn when you work with us. And then number two, we're all about nudging or nurturing this concept of self-sufficiency, metabolic flexibility, and fat burning. And one of the ways we do that is you go into a workout completely empty so that your body has to fend for itself and understand how to prioritize energy creation. Cool. So now pre-workout stimulant type stuff is different. So I come from like the bodybuilding gym rat days where we did NO Explode and Jack 3D, and like the more scoops I could take, like you had to time it right or I go do another scoop, And so walking around, doing a bench press and pushing some machines around, I think that's fine for. But if I took some NO Explode before doing something like Fran or those 500 meter rows or something, I think I would throw up and die. So those kind of stimulants, I think, understanding our goal when we get into some of these workouts is to nudge that boundary of redlining it as close as possible and then back off and get back into that as much as we can. And what we mean by redlining is having that really high pulse rate, but nudging that boundary so that you're not forced to stop the workout. Like you get a really high pulse rate, you have to back off, take a deep breath, or take a small break, and then you get back on it. If I take a pre-workout stimulant, it's pre-redlining me and it's pre-increasing my pulse rate, and so when I go into the workout, I'm already jacked, and so I'm not going to perform at my potential because of that. I think a little bit of like a low dose caffeine, like maybe a cup of coffee would be fine before a workout. If you have a little bit of fat in the coffee, that's perfectly fine. like a little bit of cream or MCT or something like that, but I probably wouldn't do that too close to the workout because you'll end up puking it up at some point. And then maybe there's some supplements that we can recommend. There's a low-dose caffeine that's like a 50 milligram caffeine pill that has L-theanine if you need a little wake-me-up or something. Some of us have experimented with cordyceps, like mushrooms, so it's not it's not a central nervous stimulant, but it does help you with your cardiovascular capacity. And so Onnit's Shroom Tech is a really good product. We have experimented with exogenous ketones, but if you do that anywhere close to a workout, you're going to be burping that stuff up and throwing that stuff up too, because it's got like powdered MCT oil and stuff in it. So you got to be really careful with it. But I think the bottom line is, ideally, you're going to a workout completely empty. Maybe a little bit of caffeine from some coffee or something, that would be perfectly fine. As far as nutrition goes around workouts, like we'd say, post-workout, there is no window that you have to meet. And if you don't meet it, everything's going to fall apart. Like we would say, just eat real food. Eat real food when you're hungry. If you're not hungry after a workout, don't worry about it. And if you are hungry after a workout, then you can go ahead and eat. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, the body's really intelligent. The innate intelligence prioritizes how it uses nutrients. It can pool resources. And if I eat, an hour after I work out, 8 hours after I work out, 12 hours, a day later, like it really doesn't matter, especially when you're in our realm, eating real food, nurturing this metabolic flexibility concept. We've done plenty of experiments where we ate post-workout for a while, and then we did some experiments where we fasted post-workout. I mean, I think both of us usually do, right?
Yeah, I don't really do anything anymore. If I'm hungry, I'll eat. But what's interesting, because we did go through that where we were like eating right away, and we still dabble, but I haven't really what I've noticed most is if I sleep well. Yeah. It's way more important to get a good night rest than it is to be downing a banana right after your workout and just like running to your cooler after the workout trying to get something in. I really think it's a little funny.
Yep. Yeah, and if the body's really stressed out, it can't digest food that well anyway. So you probably, you're going to want to wait till it calms down a little bit. So, but the bottom line takeaway, post-workout nutrition, it's a myth. There is no window that you have to meet. You can eat after if you're hungry, and that's perfectly fine. It is true that you're a little bit more insulin sensitive, so maybe you can utilize and distribute some nutrients really efficiently. But then there's plenty of research that shows if you fast post-workout, that's beneficial because you give your body a chance to clear damaged proteins. And thank you, Debbie. To clear damaged proteins and excess glucose from the system. Just had a little friendly visit from one of our clients. All right. So that's workout, nutrition, supplements. Yeah, we covered all that, right?
Perfect.
Cool.
And our last thing, going into the holidays and then, of course, cold and flu season. What are the recommendations around that? Work out when you're sick, not work out when you're sick?
What do you think, like as far as working out when you're sick or not?
Yeah.
Like if you feel something, like what do you do?
As far as me, I usually talk to you because we do want to work out because I like training.
Yeah.
And I'll say, Paul, I got this thing going on. What would I say? And really what I'm saying to you is, tell me I should not work out.
Or can I work out, please?
And I need to rest, and you'll tell me, hey, just rest, brother. 1 or 2 workouts, even a week in the big scheme of things is so small. Let your body rest, give it that time, and then get back at it as soon as you can. Because what normally happens if you do train, it's going to put you down longer, and then you're out of training even longer than you were.
Yeah, because if you've got something going on and you come in here and you do a brutal workout, that's going to suppress your immune system. Now, if you're not sick, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that adaptation response from that stress. But if I'm kind of sick, trying to get over something, and I come in and I push it really hard, then I'm going to suppress my immune system, and I'm either going to get worse or it's going to prolong my recovery. I think, maybe talking about like washing hands and things. The way that the flu virus is replicated is it gets into your system through the nose or the mouth. I mean, that's the bottom line. So I'd be really cautious or careful or aware of touching your face after putting the hands on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And I know we kind of don't really realize that. But yes, washing your hands is really beneficial, especially just before you touch your face and your mouth. And then if you're coughing or sneezing, obviously try to cover that up. But if you've got something, it might be better just not to come in here and contaminate everybody else with it, depending on where you're at in it. And you can call Colby and ask him, some advice about like, what is this? Do I need to stay home or can I go ahead and come in or something like that?
Yep, I like it.
As far as like, we used to do every year, we'd do this long drawn out like hour episode of what to do to prep for cold and flu season. And what we've realized over the years is that the best thing you can do to prep for cold and flu season is to just be healthy all year
Yeah.
long, to eat real food, to go to bed on time, to get sun every day, manage your stress with some meditation, and that is going to facilitate a healthy body and a healthy terrain. And if you get sick, that is not a bad thing, because I think most of us are going to get sick once or twice a year. The question is frequency and duration. So how often does it happen, and then how long does it take you down? Most of us, when we get sick, if we get sick, it's for a day or a half a day or at the most 2 days or something like that, and then we're right back at it. So that's a clear indication that you have a healthy immune system that can respond, and it does it really fast, and you just don't get sick that often, and when it hits you, it doesn't take you down for very long. If you're one of these people that has cold or flu symptoms and they drag out for weeks and weeks, then that means that you probably need to clean something up or do something to improve your overall health, which is going to reflect itself in the immune system. So when you're sick, I'd say ease of digestion is going to be extremely important. So fasting would be great. Bone stock is really great. Egg yolks are really great because they're easy to digest. You can do some ginger tea, boil some fresh ginger. The ginger tea is going to do a little bit to help soothe the throat and maybe kill the replication of the cold or flu virus in the back of the throat. If you can catch that cold or flu when it first starts, that little itch in the back of the throat, there is a product. It's called zinc acetate there's these lozenges that you can suck on for 20 minutes, and it will disrupt the replication of the virus in the back of the throat. But you have to catch it right when you notice that little itch and not deny it, because I think a lot of people are in that denial
We're like,
mode.
no,
That's
I'm
not
not
what it
sick.
is.
I'm not sick. I'm walking.
Can't be it,
But I've caught it a couple times. If I felt it, the lozenges do have worked, and we are going to put the link to
the specific product in there.
to that specific
because
one.
it is a specific one. It's not the zinc that's beneficial. It's actually the acetate, which kills the replication of the virus in the back of the throat. So high dose vitamin C can be really beneficial. We'll link to some things that you can purchase. We also sell it in our office here, some really good quality stuff from Vitamin C Foundation. But when you're sick, I think the best thing that you can do is just relax, rest. I mean, rest is the thing that's going to get you over it the fastest. If you're hungry, you can eat, but we'd say minimize digestive effort by drinking bone stock, a little bit of egg yolks, some healthy fats like some butter and some MCT oil and stuff like that would be really good. And I think that's about it. Essential oils are great for symptom support. So I don't think essential oils are going to be like this cure-all, be-all, prevent you from getting sick. But once you're sick, things like doTERRA's Breathe for upper respiratory stuff. There's a bunch of different essential oils you can use, and we have some people in our community that are experts at that. One other thing, if you have upper respiratory symptoms like congestion and difficulty breathing, reduced glutathione is a really good product, because in addition to being like the master antioxidant in the body, glutathione is also a bronchodilator, so it helps you open up your air passageway. So that's another good little tip.
That's what we'll provide the link for that.
Yep, absolutely. So to summarize all that, the best way to prevent colds and flus is just to be healthy all year long, do all the things you're supposed to do. If you get sick, don't stress out about it, because it's natural for everyone to get sick. You just don't want it to happen that often. You don't want to have it happen for too long. If you can catch it right in the beginning, zinc acetate lozenges may kill the replication of the virus at the back of the throat, but if you don't catch it early enough, ease the digestion with bone stock, egg yolks, a little bit of vitamin C powder to boost your immune system, some essential oils for some symptomatic support, and maybe some fresh ginger honey tea or something like that.
And that's just to make you feel good too. It tastes good drinking that tea and stuff on the throat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, I don't got anything else. I'm liking these meetings, and then I hope you guys are getting something out of this and that we can help you.
Yep. Let us know if you have any questions.
All right. See you next month. Ugh.